It pierced the side of Christ and changed the fate of empires. For centuries, rulers, tyrants, and secret societies have sought one relic above all others: the Spear of Destiny, the weapon said to have drawn the final blood of Jesus Christ. This wasn't just a piece of metal. To some, it was the key to divine favor. To others, a cursed object that brought ruin to anyone unworthy of its power. The legends say it granted invincibility, that it could determine who would rise and who would fall, from Roman generals and Holy Roman emperors to Adolf Hitler himself. The spear seems to follow the hands of those obsessed with domination, but the story is far from clear. Some say the real spear lies hidden beneath the Vatican. Others point to museums in Vienna, Krakow, or Armenia. Still others believe it was lost during the chaos of war, or deliberately hidden away by those who feared its return. And yet, the mystery endures. Each version of the spear comes with its own trail of blood, power, and collapse. If you believe that sacred power can twist the course of history, or that some artifacts are hidden for a reason, like and subscribe, because this mystery may still be unfolding right now. It began with a spear thrust, one Roman soldier, one final act. The man's name was Longinus, a centurion assigned to oversee executions. On that day, on the hill of Golgotha, he pierced the side of a condemned man to ensure death had come. But that man was Jesus of Nazareth, and from his wound came not just blood, but water. That moment would be remembered. It would be painted in cathedrals, whispered in corridors of power, and written into the bones of Western history. Because that spear, the one that touched divine flesh, became something else entirely. In the centuries that followed, the story of Longinus grew. Legend claimed he was healed of blindness the moment the blood of Christ touched him. He converted, preached the gospel, and became a saint. But the object he held, the spear, had taken on a different destiny. By the time of Constantine the Great, rumors of the spear's power had spread across the empire. It was no longer just a relic. It was a weapon of fate. To possess it was to claim divine legitimacy, and emperors were eager to wield that claim. The early church never officially recognized the spear, but that didn't stop rulers from seeking it. They believed it could legitimize conquests, protect kingdoms, and crush enemies. It became a token of divine authority, passed hand to hand in times of war and crisis. From the Eastern Roman Empire to the Frankish courts, the spear surfaced again and again, always in moments of upheaval. It wasn't just a weapon, it was a symbol, a key to unlock the will of heaven, or perhaps to bend it. And whether or not it truly held power didn't matter, because those who believed it did would stop at nothing to control it. Ambition alone cannot hold divine power, and history has a way of punishing the unworthy. When Napoleon Bonaparte rose from obscure military officer to Emperor of France, he seemed unstoppable. He crowned himself with his own hands, defied the Pope, and redrew the map of Europe in his image. But some say he craved more than territory. He sought the divine legitimacy granted by relics, though there is no public record of Napoleon holding the Spear of Destiny. Secret correspondences and court rumors suggest he made efforts to acquire it, believing it was in the possession of the Habsburgs. In his mind, conquest alone was not enough. A God-touched relic could seal his legacy. But the spear, as legend would have it, cannot be wielded by just anyone. After his catastrophic invasion of Russia in 1812, the myth began to shift. Napoleon had failed because the spear had rejected him. Within a few years, he was exiled, defeated, and broken. Twice. He wasn't the only one. Kaiser Wilhelm II of Germany, a man raised with the mythos of divine right, became associated with the spear through the imperial regalia held in Vienna. He too led a powerful empire into ruin. World War I ended with his abdication and disgrace, and the German Empire collapsed. What connects these men? Both reached the divine, and both were cast down. The Spear of Destiny does not reward ambition. It demands worthiness. And if its holder is found lacking, the consequences are not subtle. These stories form the darker side of the legend, that the spear does not simply grant power, it judges, and sometimes it condemns. In the ruins of post-World War I Austria, a young Adolf Hitler wandered to the Hofburg Museum in Vienna. There, encased in glass, lay the Spear of Destiny, the same relic held by emperors and conquerors. He stared at it for hours. According to later accounts, that moment changed him. As Hitler rose to power, the mythology of the spear followed. Some researchers claim he believed it held supernatural power. Others say it was merely a symbol, but a symbol he was determined to possess. In 1938, after the Anschluss, Hitler's forces seized Vienna. One of the first things they took was a spear. He had it transported to Nuremberg, the spiritual heart of the Nazi regime, and stored it beneath St. Catherine's Church, whether for propaganda or belief. Hitler had claimed the relic he once gazed at as a starving artist. But was it truly the spear or a copy? There are several holy lances in Europe, each with their own story and none confirmed. Regardless, the myth intensified. As the tide of war turned against Germany, some whispered that Hitler's grip on the spear was failing. In April 1945, as American forces closed in, the Allies recovered the artifact. That same day, Adolf Hitler committed suicide in his bunker in Berlin. Coincidence? To believers, the link is clear. The spear's power had passed from him, and so ended his dominion. And yet, the question remains, did the spear actually hold any power? Or was it merely the belief in that power, the obsession, that shaped history in its shadow? Power leaves behind shadows, and few places are more practiced at hiding those shadows than the Vatican. Throughout history, several artifacts have claimed the title of the true Spear of Destiny. One lies in the Hofburg Museum in Vienna, the one said to have influenced Hitler. Another is held in Krakow, Poland. A third, less ornate but equally mysterious, resides in Ekmidzin, Armenia. But there is a fourth, and it may be the most secretive of all. Some believe that the Vatican possesses a spear hidden deep within its vaults. Not the copy paraded through European courts, but the real relic, the one that pierced the side of Christ. It's said to have been taken during the Crusades, when a splinter of the Holy Lance was sent back to Rome for safekeeping. For centuries, the Church has neither confirmed nor denied this. Why the silence? Because the existence of the real spear in the heart of Catholicism would raise dangerous questions. If the power is real, who holds it now? And if it's not, then why keep it hidden? Documents discovered by independent Vatican researchers suggest that Pope Innocent VIII used a relic believed to be the Holy Lance as a token of legitimacy during the late 15th century. Yet by the 19th century, the object vanishes from all records. Some suspect it was hidden to prevent it from falling into Napoleon's hands. Others say the spear was too dangerous, its influence too tempting. Better to lock it away, rather than risk another tyrant claiming divine right. But rumors persist. A few even claim that the Vatican spear was smuggled out during World War II and hidden somewhere in South America. No photos, no proof. Just whispers pass between exorcists, scholars, and those who still believe. The question remains, which spear, if any, is real? Or do all of them contain pieces of the same ancient lie? Because if the true spear does exist, it may not be waiting to be found. It may be waiting to be used. History has never agreed on a single spear of destiny. Instead, relics have emerged across continents, each cloaked in mystery, each with its own believers. The Hofburg spear in Vienna is perhaps the most famous, but its origins are murky. Some date it back to the 8th century, others to Constantine. Embedded in its shaft is a nail, said to be one of the original nails from the crucifixion. And yet, metallurgical tests suggest multiple repairs and alterations. Is it a relic or a carefully forged symbol? Then there's the Krakow lance, preserved in the royal treasury of Poland, revered by Polish kings. It bears similar inscriptions, but lacks the dramatic mythology of Vienna's artifact. Still, it commands awe, a reminder of faith and power fused. In Armenia, the Ekmidzin spear is simpler. It lacks ornamentation, but the Armenian Church claims it as the original, said it had been brought by Apostle Thaddeus. It rests in a stone reliquary, shown only on special occasions. It is humble, and perhaps for that reason more believable. In Antioch, during the First Crusade, a soldier claimed divine revelation led him to the burial site of the spear. He unearthed it, rallied the starving crusaders, and led them to improbable victory. Was it a miracle or a staged act of desperation? Each of these lances carries a thread of the myth. All were used to rally troops, to legitimize rulers, to justify conquest. But none have been universally accepted. Perhaps that's the point. A relic that gives divine power can never be universally proven, because faith, unlike metal, cannot be weighed. And maybe that's what keeps the legend alive. Not certainty, but possibility.